right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Family Like Builders TV, where we're building homes and transforming society. My name is Tosin Opeoluwa, and I want to say thank you for joining me once again. Um, like my culture, I know that a lot of people will watch the replay, so we won't have to wait for so long for people to come in, but know that when you drop your comments, I always come back to check and give you a response, especially the people on Facebook. I want to say thank you. I want to thank everyone on LinkedIn. Sometimes I broadcast to LinkedIn, but today I'm only broadcasting to Facebook and YouTube. So thank you so much for joining me. I want to really say thank you. I get this question of can I divorce my husband because he's emotionally abusing me? I get this question a lot, and I feel like it's something that we need to talk about. A lot of people have been in their marriage for several years. I actually know a woman who got a divorce after 33 years of marriage. I feel like that's a long time to wait to get a divorce because the greater part of your life have gone. So why did you have to wait for that long to get a divorce? And when we asked what was the problem, the woman said it was emotional abuse and she doesn't want to get a divorce, so she decided to raise all her kids. And when the children, they were all married, everyone is settled, and so she decided to get a divorce at that time. So for us to prevent that, because that's not what we want to happen to our children as well, and that's not what we expect to happen even in our relationship. So before it gets so bad, why not work on it? Why not work it out before it gets that bad? The day I talked about this in a particular meeting where I was invited, a lot of people don't get the perspective at which I was presenting the issue. And I want to say it again today, like if you get a divorce, it doesn't make you a bad person. No, that's for sure. You are not a bad person for getting a divorce. Life happens, things happen. God hates divorce, right? But God loves a divorcee. I've always said that. God loves everyone. And if you get divorced, you want to remarry, it is okay. But I'm going to break it down so much today. I want you to invite your friends, share with friends. Please subscribe. And don't forget to just drop your questions because I always come back to check and respond to your question either to my email or to my text. So thank you so much for joining me. Without further ado, let's dive into it. So let's start with this. What is emotional abuse? Okay. I don't know if any of us have seen my book on Goodbye Domestic Violence. Okay. Oh, I have to mirror this. Okay, I don't know, but okay. So this is one of my books, Goodbye Domestic Violence, and I'm going to be looking at what exactly. Let me tell you what I wrote about what emotional abuse is. Okay. So I said emotional abuse is constant belittling of the other person, his actions or her actions and decisions, constant blaming or bringing up past sin and secret to shame the other person, isolation, intimidation, treating the person as a child, if the person is a child, or even if the person is an adult, threats and neglect, withholding of affection and many more. So these are the things that people experience when they are going through emotional abuse. It's simply the psychological drain that people experience in their relationship. It comes as a result of unresolved conflicts and the personality of individual in that relationship. For some people, the way they know how to manage situation is just to stonewall you, is just to go mute. Um, they don't know how to fix things, how to work on situation, how to open up and talk about things, but they will rather hold back. For some people, their personality is so dysfunctional to the point that sometimes when you have an issue with them, instead for them to talk about it, and forget about it. When they talk about it, they don't want to do that. They can go on like that with you for 2 weeks, from 1 month, and I've seen couples do that for years, and they are living together in the same house. The only thing that brings them together is maybe the children's school fee or something, and they are just going to write a letter to one another. This is not healthy for you, for your well-being, and for your children. So knowing what emotional abuse is very important. Sometimes people don't even know this, and the person that you even think is abusing you does not even know that they are abusing you, because you both grew up from different homes, and the upbringing is affecting both of you in that relationship. So it's very essential that you first recognize what emotional abuse means to you, and then we can go from there. So the next thing is your husband or this person abusing you aware of emotional abuse? Sometimes, like I said, people don't even know what this means. They don't know what emotional abuse is. So if they don't know something, if you know something, you can do something. But if you don't know what this thing is, there's no way you will be able to do something about it. When you know what is going on, you can easily fix it. But if you don't know what is going on, you can't fix it. So ensure that this person, your husband, your partner, your spouse, your wife, they understand what emotional abuse is. And the next thing is, do you have boundaries? Sometimes a lot of people, a lot of women, including me, we don't know how to set boundaries. When I was growing up, when I got married, and let me back up a bit and say this: your level of understanding is the level at which you deal in your marriage or your relationship. Now, the level at which you grow up is the level at which you will enjoy your relationship or your marriage. Now, this growth is not for individual alone, it's for both person in that relationship. And I'm not talking about unhealthy relationship that people tell you, my boyfriend knows that I'm in a relationship with another person. They call it open relationship. That is a relationship from hell. Quote me. God does not bring three people together at a time. He brings two persons together at a time. That's my understanding. And for some other people in other religion that believes that they can marry as many as they want, we understand that they married, right? But for um those who believe, in the beginning, remember, in the beginning he made them male and female. And when he brought out Eve from Adam, he would have decided to bring out maybe Eve and Christina from Adam. But God knows what he's doing, so much that he brought only Eve out of Adam. So that is what we are talking about here. What happens from the beginning? Every other thing, if you want to do it, it's okay. But if you believe in the Bible, if that is what you're following, then that is what we are talking about here right now. So two of you, God brought the two of you together. And so as we are growing, as we are advancing, things begins to happen in our lives. Things, so many, situations, family issues or bringing, and then it bends us. It bends it shapes us into who we don't even like, because sometimes when you do some of those things, you don't even like them, you don't even like yourself at the end of the day. But it's the upbringing that shapes us into that. So we don't learn how to have boundaries, how to set boundaries. And because we don't have these boundaries in place, anybody that comes into your life can do just anything that they like. It took me several years for me to learn how to do this, how to set my boundaries, how to say, you know what, this is okay, this is how far I can go with you, this is how far you can go with me. This needs to be in place even before you get married at all. You need to learn how to create boundaries. This is what you can say to me. This is what you can say that I will not accept. We need to have those boundaries in place. And you know what? There's something I understand about people, even people with personality disorders. When you see people with personality disorders, you realize that even when you tell them before you get married, once you tell them you can't take this, you can't talk to me this way, they run away, because they understand that you will not be their mumu. You are not going to be their pre. You are not going to be their tool. You are not going to serve their ego. You are not going to serve their weakness. You are not going to serve their insecurity. So even when people have personality disorders, once they know you have a boundary, they will run away from you automatically. But if you don't have a boundary, if anything goes, you want to please everyone, you want to please that man, and that's why you see a woman will cry and say, but I did everything for him. Why did he have to do that for me? Because why? You don't have boundaries, and you understand that you don't have a boundary. So he will do anything for you. He will drag you in the mud. So you need to learn to set boundaries if you're not been setting boundaries. I think I have a video on this channel where I talk about setting boundaries. I talked about having a mind of your own, and stop codependency. So I have those videos and I'm going to be putting them in the description below. So let's go ahead and talk more about this. I'm going to try as much as possible to go faster, okay, because I don't want to spend more than 20 minutes or so. So after having your boundaries, did you communicate your boundary? Sometimes you have boundaries, but you don't communicate your boundary, or you don't even know how to communicate your boundary. There's a need for you to learn how to do this. You have to sit this person down and tell them what your boundary is. Now, the next thing is, if the second husband, let's assume that you divorced this first person because he's emotionally abusing you, whereas you were late before you even knew what emotional abuse is. Your husband is not even aware of what emotional abuse is, but he's just acting according to his upbringing. You don't have boundaries. You don't communicate your boundaries, and yet you went ahead and divorced. If that happens in the first relationship, it's going to happen in the second relationship because you did not communicate those things to that person. So it's going to happen again and again. Now, for us to prevent that, because these are the things that you need to do. You really don't have to divorce. That would be my answer. You don't have to divorce because of emotional abuse. But these are the things that you can do. And when you do these things, if they don't work, then you are permitted to move on. Like seriously, because your well-being is very important. Your mental health, your well-being, everything about your life is very, very important. Your life first before your marriage. Remember, you have to put on your oxygen mask first before you help the person next to you. So your life first, then your relationship. So let's go further and talk about doing x-ray for your husband. So this x-ray is about mental health. Can you both sit down and look at why this person is behaving the way he's behaving? Because for some women, they will communicate their boundary, but some men, because of their narcissistic and sadist behavior, they are not going to change. And sometimes they have curses and covenants in their family background. They have family patterns that are following them. They are not going to change, and they are not going to want to change. Even sometimes in the cycle of abuse, they are going to come back and say, I'm sorry. And then you start the honeymoon, and then the tension build up, and then there is arguments, and then there is beating again, and the emotional abuse and all forms of abuse, and the whole thing crashes again. So you want to x-ray that man's mental health. You want to x-ray your home mental health. Is he a narcissist? Is he a sadist? Or does he have causes and covenants? Or is it just personality disorder in general? You need to x-ray the mental health of this person. And it has to do with the fact that the man wants to change, or the person abusing you wants to change. So if they want to change, you guys need to go for evaluation to really know what is going on. And then after doing that, let me ask another question. Are you communicating? There's a difference between talking and talking and talking, or communicating. Is he getting your message? Does he really know when things are not okay with you, with what he has done to you? Sometimes people even hurt you and they don't even know they've hurt you. They don't know what they've done. And women sometimes they ask you what is wrong. You don't even know how to express yourself. Are you communicating? Are you learning how to express yourself? Are you pouring your heart, or you are holding things back as a result of your upbringing? Remember, some of us, our upbringing says don't talk. When your parents are talking to you, you look down, right? Those things are not okay, because it kills relationship. It kills communication. And once communication dies, every other thing dies in your relationship. The next question is, are you guys having sex? This is very, very essential. People that you have serious intimacy with, if they are not sexually abusing you, then there's no way you will sit them down and talk about something they are doing wrong to you, that they will not listen to you. The next thing is, have you tried couples therapy? And I want to quickly say here, therapy don't heal. I'm going to say it again. Therapy does not heal. Therapy will only teach you how to heal. The bulk of the work is still in your hands, and you have to be ready to do it. The next thing is, have you both signed forgiveness bond? That is very, very essential. If somebody, before you get married at all, sign a forgiveness bond. Have you can choose to write it, and you can choose to talk about it, that come what may, we are going to forgive one another. The next thing is, have you made up your mind to be together forever? Some people, they are not ready to be together forever. They are just ready to be, as long as we can cope, as long as I can get along with you. That is when we will both go our separate ways. There are some people like that. It's their choice. Do you know a soft spot and how to get there? So if you say someone is emotionally like abusing you, and we're talking about how you are repairing it right now, so that you won't have to get a divorce. You really don't have to, because of emotional abuse. If there is violence, I tell women, leave. My mom leaves, and that's why she's alive to today. And my parents are back together after 26 years of separation. If they didn't separate, my mom would have died. I keep saying that. So leave. If things are not going well, just leave. Leave so that you can leave. Okay? So the next thing is, do you have a shock absorber? Because this is very, very important. There are some people, you can't talk to them. I'm too big for my shoes. I mean, how do I normally say it? I will say, I'm too big for my shoes. Nobody can talk to me. So there are some people like that. Some people are also defensive as a result of trauma, as a result of things they've been through, what they are going through, and what they will still go through as a result of the unresolved problem. So it's very essential that you develop a shock absorber. It's not everything that somebody say that you will react to. There are some that my Yoruba people will say mo gbe sára, wako gbe sára wa ṣe bí pé kò coexist. My friend, one of my friends will say, she calls it selective hearing. They just say that thing, and you act like you did not hear, because as honestly you didn't hear, you choose not to hear because you know that it's going to damage your emotions. So you need to develop a shock absorber. Have you prayed about it? Sometimes we go through situation, serious stressful situation, and we choose not to pray about it. Remember, the Holy Spirit is always there to help. He's a great helper. He's always there to help. If you call him into that situation, ask him to help. And when you are asking him to help, don't ask in a selfish way. One of the ways to ask for help, if your spouse is behaving badly, one of the ways to ask for help is not to ask God to help him stop. No, ask God to arrest his mind. Ask God to arrest his soul. Ask God to encounter him, that he should encounter light. Light. Just ask God that the light will shine in their heart. That the light will shine in their heart. Once the light shine, they will be able to see themselves. The devil is so trickish that no matter how much you talk, no matter how much you do all of these things, trust me, he will make sure that it frustrates you that those things that you have done does not work. So you'll be like, but everything that you guys are saying, we are doing it, we're not getting a result. You haven't prayed. Bible says, either so you have not asked. Whosoever asketh, receive it. God can say, hold on, I'm coming. I see your pain. I'm coming to rescue you. But hold on, I'm working out something. And God can say, I'm doing it right now. And God can say, well, don't worry, I will do it in my own time. So those seasons, they are preparing you also for something. They are preparing you for the opportunity to stand and encourage somebody. Those seasons, they are preparing you for so many wonderful things that you cannot see ahead. See, when you are going through pains in your relationship and you are acting right, God knows how to reward you. But if you take laws into your hand, this is what God told me, if you want to act on your own, if you want to revenge, if you want to do anything, God will hold on and he will fold his hands. The Holy Spirit will fold his hands and you will struggle so much. You will cry all night. You will soak your pillow with tears. But you know what? When you allow God, he knows how to take care of everything. So much that you won't be hurt, the other person will not be hurt, and things will still go back to the original plan of God for you two coming together. And the last one I'm going to say is, do you have a word from God for your marriage? There will be storm. Remember, the wise build his house and the stupid one build his house. Both of them, they have different foundation. And both of them, that the foolish one build it on the sand and the wise one build it on the rock, and both of them experience the same thing, right? They experienced the same thing. They both experienced the storm came, everything came on both, the wise and the foolish. But what happens, what makes a difference is the rock. Who is that rock? Jesus is that rock. So has he given you a word? Are you standing on that rock so that even when the storm comes, it will look like it's going to crash, but it's not going to crash. It's going to be okay at the end of the day. So I will say my big answer to this question is, divorce is not an answer for emotional abuse. If divorce is an answer for emotional abuse, every woman will be out of their marriage by now. By now, every woman will be out of their marriage. But are we working on those things that I've mentioned? So I'm going to mention it again as a recap. Do you really understand what emotional abuse is? Does that man understand that there's an emotional abuse? And did he know? Is he aware of emotional abuse? Do you set boundaries? Do you have boundaries for yourself? And do you communicate your boundary with your person, with your partner, or with your spouse? Did you do that? Now, if you live in because of emotional abuse and you are not ill, what will happen to the next one? The same thing will happen, because the devil has a way of sequencing things and he will make them happen again and again. But God also has a way of letting those things happen again and again till we learn the lesson he wants us to learn in that situation. And then it will come back and intervene in it. So the next one is, have you x-rayed that man? Has he gone for evaluation, as in mental health evaluation? Is he a narcissist? Is he a sadist? Or is something else spiritual going on in his life? X-ray that man. And then the next thing, are you communicating? Are you having sex regularly? Have you tried couples therapy? And remember, I said therapy don't heal. Therapy teach you how to heal. The work is in your hand. It's a joint decision that both of you need to make. Have you both signed forgiveness bond? Have you decided to forgive yourself no matter what? Have you made up your mind to be together forever? Or you just want to be short time or part time husband and wife? Do you know his soft spot, and do you know how to get there? My Yoruba people will say mumu button. Do you know his mumu button? You know, for most men, their mumu button is respect. They love respect. They really, really love respect. And then, have you made up your mind to be together forever? Okay. Yes. The next one will be: do you have shock absorber? You know, do you have you developed, or have you decided to develop a shock absorber? Then have you prayed about the situation? And then the last one, do you have a word from God for that relationship? This is very, very essential. This will help you a lot. You can't divorce because of emotional abuse. You have to grow up so that you can grow above the emotional abuse. People, things happen, but once you grow up, you will grow above those things, and that will really help you. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I appreciate you staying with me. I can't really, I'm talking from the studio, so I really can't see a lot of people. I did not connect on another device. So I want to thank you for joining me. I want to appreciate you. And then I want to say, till I come your way again, just keep becoming a better you, because things work when we work it. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.